Hey, 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 hermanas. Welcome back to another episode of Hermanas Unfiltered, the podcast where we keep it real, raw, and ridiculously relatable. I'm Casey.
Hey y'all, my name is Isela. We are sisters by marriage, besties by choice, and two educators on a mission to empower women and spill a little tea along the way.
So today's episode is especially close to my heart because we are diving into Isela's story, how she transitioned from teaching into the classroom to becoming a school counselor, which I think a lot of people would, especially now in education, the way education is going, a lot of people are ready to get out of the classroom. So whether you're a teacher or maybe you're just a mom or maybe you're someone who's considering making that change, this one's definitely for you.
Yes, y'all, and let me tell you, it wasn't a smooth little pivot. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. So my story is a little bit different than maybe somebody else's would be that has been in the classroom and then decided to go into counseling. But there were definitely a lot of tears, a lot of self doubt, identity crisis, but there was also so much growth. So, we're going to talk about why I left the classroom, how I knew it was time, and how I finally found a role that aligned with my passion, which is helping students on a deeper level.
Nice. So everybody grab your coffee, your tea, your soda, your Diet Coke, whatever it may be. And let's talk. Let's talk about this career shift and how we need to learn to follow our gut. Most of the time when change is coming, I think our body feels it. I think our emotions feel it a little faster than maybe our brain does. So we are here to support you and your mental health during the process.
Right. All right. So let me start with my background. Okay, so I was a Spanish teacher for 5 years. I was in the classroom for 5 years. I started off in middle school or junior high level teaching 7th and 8th grade. I had mixed classes because elective. And like I said, my story's a little bit different. If you know me, you know that I did not go to school for teaching. Teaching is something that I always told people, I don't know how you do it. I could never do it. Like the kids, the drama, I just don't want to do it. So I actually went to school and major in psychology. Psychology has always been like something that has piqued my interest since I was in high school. I remember taking one psychology class in high school. I don't know if they still do that. Do they still offer psychology in high school? Do you know?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe?
So sometimes I think about it. I'm like, did I make it all up in my mind? And I think that I took a psychology class in high school, but I'm pretty sure I did because I remember my teacher very vividly. And it was like my favorite class my senior year of high school. And he had this thing where he would ask, why do people do what they do? That was like his opening question for everything. And I always found it like super interesting. And I knew that I wanted to teach when I was a senior in high school. That was my plan. But back then I was really good at math. So I wanted to be a math teacher, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, things happened, life happened. I started working, never went to college. I took a 10-year sabbatical, if you can
Nice.
believe it.
I love that.
So anyway, when I finally enrolled in school is because my husband finished his college when we got married. So by the time my first son was born, he was like a few months old and he graduated with his bachelor's. So I was like, hey, I got to do something with my life. We have a family now, so I'm going to go to school. So I started going to school and I didn't have a major for like ever. The dream of being a math teacher had gone away because when I enrolled in college, turns out that I was terrible at math because, it's one of those things that if you don't use it, you lose it type of deals.
Yeah.
So my scores didn't count anymore because it had been so long. So I had to take remedial math in college and it was awful. I hated it. So I was like, there's no way. There's no
Yeah.
way. So I kind of shifted a little bit and I was undeclared for a long time. And then finally I didn't settle because I wanted to do it, but I shifted to psychology. And I was actually going to double major in psychology and Spanish, but I ended up just majoring in psychology and minor in Spanish. So anyway, long story short, by the time I graduated with my bachelor's, it kind of like dawned on me and I was like, what in the world am I going to do with a bachelor's in psychology?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing, right? So I decided that I wanted to go to grad school. And because psychology was my niche, I applied for grad school and I got into the counseling program. but I was
Mm.
originally going for an LPC, which is a licensed professional counselor. That was the end goal.
Yeah, yeah.
So, if you have been in grad school, you know how awful it is. Just a heads up. Especially when you go, because the course that I enrolled in, it was geared towards LPC, but it was like a master's in education with attached to the LPC at the time.
Mhm,
So, I had never written so many papers in my life. I had never done so much research in my life, and when I was like, I don't know, like in my almost last semester of grad school, I was like ready to quit. I was like, "I can't do this. It's so much. I'm tired of it, whatever, whatever." So,
mhm,
one of my professors, she was like, "No, don't quit." So she's like, "Why don't you do the Master's of Education to be a school counselor?" She said, "Do that and then come back and finish your LPC later,
mhm,
so you can catch a break." So anyway, I decided to do that, and when I knew that I was going to be a counselor, a school counselor, at the time, you needed to teach for 3 years in order for you to
mhm,
be able to move up to counseling. So
mhm.
anyway, that's when it kind of dawned on me, and I was like, if I'm gonna be a counselor, I need to teach.
Yeah,
So that's how I ended up in the classroom. Um,
yeah.
so anyway, once I got in it, I liked it a lot. Being in the classroom, those relationships with the kids,
Mhm.
it was really fun, especially because I was an elective teacher. It was a
Yeah.
fun class. Anyway, I finished my degree 2020 COVID year.
Mhm.
COVID year.
Yep, of course, of course. What other year?
Everything I know, right? As if it wasn't hard enough. I finished grad school COVID year 2020. I graduated. I didn't take my test right away to be a
Mhm.
school counselor because I don't know. I was scared. I don't know. I was
Yeah,
too
yeah.
comfortable in the classroom, so I ended up staying for another 4 years. And finally, last year,
Mhm.
my fifth year teaching, there was a shift. Something
Yeah.
in me changed, and I knew that I did not need to be in the classroom anymore. It became boring in a sense. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was so repetitive, and I just I
It
just
wasn't
knew
challenging anymore,
it
right?
wasn't challenging anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that that's when I knew that I needed to get out of the classroom
Yeah.
and pursue what I originally started in the education business, which was be a counselor. So I took my test right before school ended in April of 2024, and I passed. And believe it or not, that counseling test, the 252 in Texas, was so much easier than the PPR.
Really?
Yes, I had a really hard time with the PPR. Maybe again because I didn't go to school to be a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe because I did go to school to be a counselor and I kind of knew like the depths or the
Mm,
questions or whatnot. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah, that totally makes sense, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I took the test, I passed. I got hired at this new role that I've been in. This is my second year counselor. I feel a lot more confident this year than I did last year when I first got hired as a counselor. So it's been great.
That's good. That's really good. So, like, how did you feel like the first year? What do you think the biggest difference from being in the classroom to being a school counselor would be?
Well, if you don't have a room full of kids, that's really good.
Yeah.
Not having to work, of course, you're busy as a counselor,
Mhm.
but it's not as busy as being in the classroom. I mean, you can go to the restroom whenever you want. You take a lunch. Of course, you're there longer. Our contract starts a lot earlier than teachers. We work 207 days versus 187.
Mhm.
But like there's a lot of, I guess,
Pros?
the pros outweigh the cons, if you want
Mm,
to say it. I mean, I don't know. The biggest difference definitely is adjusting to not being as busy. Like you're
mm.
busy, but it's not the same kind of busy, if that
It's
makes
like
any sense.
steady, not insane. Is that what it
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes, that's exactly how it is. And you know what? Last year,
Mhm.
it dawned on me that I missed being in the classroom. Like, I do miss it because I miss building those relationships with the kids. Now that you
Yeah.
can't, it's not that you can't as a counselor, but in middle school, those kids don't want to talk to you unless there's like
Yeah.
something really, really, really happening with them.
Mhm.
But other than that, they don't want to see you. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're not yeah, because they don't know you. They don't
yeah,
really
because they don't know
know
you.
you. Yeah. That's
So
what's different.
It's different. I mean, so far it's been great. I am really loving it. I'm so glad that I decided to finally shift and move into it because it's been really good. And I have a good principal and a good support system with the two other counselors. You know, they've been doing this for years, so I've actually learned a lot. And it's the same thing as when you go to school to be a teacher, an educator. There's a
Mhm.
lot of things that they don't teach you in grad school, like all the extras, like the
Yeah.
and the observations and all the paperwork that you have to do, like schedules and all of that. So the sad part about it is that you are not an actual like counselor, if that makes any sense. You do
Yeah.
a lot more paper pushing than
Yeah.
anything else, so I guess that's the downfall, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's still great.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see, like, definitely having a little bit more freedom, you know?
Hmm.
Like, you definitely get, like, a different set of freedom, but I can definitely see missing the classroom sometimes,
Yeah,
For,
sometimes.
yeah, sometimes
For the
because
most part you won't.
right, right. But every once in a while, it's like, man, because you get to, there's a different relationship that you get to build with those students. You guys become like extended family almost. You know what I mean? Like, I see myself like almost like a second mom, kind of, sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where, you get to build them up as little humans and you get to know them and who they are. You get to know their family without even knowing their family because they do. They talk about their siblings and their brothers and their moms and their
Mhm.
dads. And you almost feel like, they're a part of your extended family. So, yeah, I can definitely see missing that portion of the teaching part. But man, it must be nice to be able to go to the restroom when you want.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, you get a lunch, you get a full hour lunch, which is great. Of course, your hours get extended. I
Yeah.
work 8 to 5 now.
Yeah. That's
Not
kind of,
everybody
yeah.
may be like that. Maybe elementary is less time because they're there earlier and leave earlier. But
Yeah.
even then, I mean, it's still pretty great. I mean, I'm loving it so far. I'm so glad that I decided to go ahead and make the shift instead of staying in the classroom a lot longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because you definitely
So
get burnt out as a teacher.
yeah.
There's burnout is real. It's so real. So it's definitely nice that you had that option, you know what I mean? That you were able to finish. I mean, that's a big accomplishment. You finished your bachelor's, you went and you got your master's. That's a pretty big deal. So you were able to, do something different. What do
Yeah.
you, besides like writing a whole bunch of papers, what else did you think was unexpected as far as like, the program went, like the counseling program?
Unexpected?
Like maybe like classes, like, or did you learn something different, or like, I don't know, just something that you didn't expect, like the collaboration, or I don't know.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I knew going into it again because it's attached to the LPC. There was a lot of
Mhm.
theories. You get to read the DSM-5, like the diagnostics book. It's not that I knew what I was getting into because again, I
Yeah.
major in psychology, so I had already seen a lot of those things.
Mhm.
I think the only unexpected thing was having to write so many goddamn papers.
Mm.
It was ridiculous, like, so many papers. There was this one class that I ended up
Mhm.
with a full binder. You have to build a whole, curriculum, like a
Wow.
counseling curriculum, starting from, like,
Wow.
what you're gonna do the beginning of the year. You make a mock schedule, like, because
Wow.
some counselors are responsible for the master schedule. So you build a mock schedule with bells, the times for each class. You get to plan Red Ribbon Week. What else? Like sessions, what kind of sessions you're going to offer for the students throughout the year, whether it is bullying or whatever. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, you build a binder. And you
Wow.
build it through the whole class. The whole semester, you write it little in pieces, little by little. So by the time the class is done, you have a binder. And
Wow.
in my particular program, our professor said a lot of counselors that have gone to interview, they bring the binder with them to show that
Mhm.
they know what they're doing. So it prepares you for that aspect of
Yeah.
counseling. But
Yeah.
and that's the class that did me dirty. After that class, I was like, I'm so done.
You're like,
I'm done.
never again.
I cannot do this. And like I said, but I was almost done. Like I was like one semester away from completing enough credit hours for me to be a school counselor. So I'm glad that she encouraged me to stay and go that route and then come back and finish my LPC. I have yet to go back for my LPC, and it's been 5 years,
Yeah.
but I'll go back eventually,
Yeah.
I think.
It's just a matter of time and
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's a good backup plan as well. Just like having your master's for counseling is a good backup
Yeah.
plan to get out of the classroom, I feel like having
Yeah.
your OPT is also a good backup to get out of the education world if you ever
Yeah.
wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. No, I think that's great. How was it? Like, I know you had to do so many clinical hours, right? How many clinical hours did you have to do? Like, oh,
I
do you
really
remember?
don't remember. So my practicum, it was my very last class, and it
Mhm.
was the last semester, and that was when I was that was COVID year, 1920.
Mm.
So because we couldn't do it in person, they ended up cutting them in half, or I don't remember what
Wow.
happened. So I actually got lucky and didn't have to do as many hours. But
Wow.
I want to say it might have been like 300. I don't really know.
What
I
does
don't want to
that
lie to you.
let's say like real world now, like what would that mean? Does that mean that you have to go to the school and help out or what is yeah?
So what I did, because I started it until March hit, I
Mhm.
was shadowing during my conference. I was shadowing one of the counselors at my school. And, I think at the time they were signing up 8th graders for their high school classes. So I helped
Mhm.
with that. And then
Mhm.
like if kids came and needed help, sometimes she would let me talk to them. So yeah,
Nice.
it was basically shadowing a counselor, and then that
Mhm.
counselor signs up on your hours.
Nice. Do you have to like write a paper or anything? Did you have
Yeah,
to like
so at the end of each, I don't know if it was every week or every so often, you have to like reflect on what you learned and how it helped your experience towards being a counselor.
Nice, nice. That is so cool. I don't know. Like, I think, like you said before, like counselors, you're right. It's counselors take on a different role. It's not so much counseling.
Mhm.
Like you guys do so much. You guys do plan events. You help out with Red Ribbon Week. You guys help out with star testing. Like, there's so many things that you kind of like, have your hand in. And I feel like you guys, you play a big role and I think that's pretty cool, and you still get those interactions with those kids, just maybe not all of them.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe for me last year, it was a lot more that I kept a lot more sheltered because
Mhm.
I didn't know what I was doing per se.
Yeah.
So I didn't come out like towards the end of the school year. That's when I started coming out in the hall and like saying hi to kids during passing periods or greeting them in the mornings, things like that.
Mhm.
Like a lot of kids did know who I was because they
Yeah.
had seen me during presentations and I always introduced myself. So a lot of them knew who I was, but not a lot of them necessarily came to me, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think this year I want to do it different. I want to like put myself out there from the beginning and like just make myself seen more than I did last
Mhm.
year. Hopefully
Yeah.
to and like I want to go out there during lunch periods and walk around and talk to the kids and like
Mhm.
start building those relationships early in the year. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's pretty cool that you get those opportunities to still interact and it is more of a clerical position, but at the same time like you still use all the skills that you gained in the classroom. You're still able to use them in your counseling, whether it's just knowing who the teachers are, right? Who teaches what class, or I'm sure sometimes kids try to pull fast ones, and having that education background, you're like, yeah, no, this doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
So yeah, because they're always testing boundaries, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, they are. So, let me talk a little bit about how you can get started, I guess, if you're interested in going to school to be a counselor. So, do your research because there are tons of schools in Texas that have counseling programs. I know that here where I live, we have a branch of UT. I know they have a program. I know Angelo State has a program. So, Ross, where I went, they have the program. But ultimately, I ended up choosing Sul Ross because they did not require for me to take the GRE test to get
Hmm.
into the program. I know the program here where I live, they required it. And I was like, there's no way I'm taking that test.
Yeah.
I'm a really bad tester, so I knew that I was gonna struggle with it.
Yeah.
So I was like, "No, I'm not doing it." And I wanna say Angelo State also requires it. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, do your research, maybe find the one that's cheaper, the
Yeah.
shortest, talk to people that have done the program to
Yeah.
see what they have to offer. Like I said, I know Sol Ross was a really good program. They have really good professors, and doctors that teach you how to do things properly. I mean, of course, it's always about time, money,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's expensive. Grad school is expensive, And then, like I said, time. Whoever's gonna offer the shortest program so you can get out there and start counseling right away.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of them have interviews. I guess. I think I had to
Mhm.
write an essay saying why I wanted to go into
Wow.
the program, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. So, things like that. I mean, luckily now we have a AI that can write the essays for you. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean,
Or an outline.
just do your research and talk to people that have been in the programs and find whatever fits best for you. I know some
Yeah.
programs require you to go in person.
Mhm.
That was not an option for me because I had a full-time job at the time. Again, Sol Ross was almost 100% online. There was a few semesters where I did have to go in person, but it was like on a Saturday and it would start
Oh,
like
that's
at
not
8 in
bad.
the morning and then by 1, 2 o'clock it was over. So I would just drive, go to class and then come back home the same day. So
Yeah.
it was very accommodating if you have a full-time job. Like if you're already an educator, it was very accommodating. Of course it's going to be a lot. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's pretty gruesome. The amount
Yeah.
of research and writing that you have to do is pretty gruesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also, like, online universities, right, that
Mhm.
you can look at too if you're, in a different area or a different state, you can look at those online universities. I know there's, like, what, Canyon University
Mhm.
and different ones that offer programs, counseling programs.
And a lot of them offer like reduced tuition because there is such a shortage of even counselors, school counselors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all
Yeah,
about doing
because
research.
yeah, I agree because I feel like a lot of people are leaving education. They don't even make it to their masters. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They're like, "Oh, Eric, pump the brakes. I don't even want to do education." And they just completely go into another field. So I can
Yeah.
definitely see there being a shortage of school counselors.
Yeah, there's such a shortage. I mean, even in my district now, they take counselor apprentices, which
Wow.
they don't have a master's yet. But if you are enrolled in a program and have completed so many hours,
Hmm.
then they'll take you as an apprentice while you're going to school.
Wow.
Um, and until you graduate and take your test, and then they'll bump you up to an actual counselor. But yeah, there's a shortage for counselors for sure. At least in my district, there is.
Yeah.
I'm sure everywhere else is the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we have that problem here. I don't Our people stay and never leave. Everybody's still hoping that, I'm sure there's few teachers out there that have been in our district forever. I'm talking about we have a teacher that's been in our district, I wanna say 40 years,
Wow.
and people are just, like, ready to take her job whenever she's ready, and she's like, "Nope, I think I'm gonna teach another year."
Wow,
But
that's amazing.
yeah, that's insane. Like, she's taught, like, 3 generations of, like, kids, like,
Wow.
their grandpa, the dad, and now the son. It's crazy, like, 'cause she started pretty early.
What
Um,
grade?
she teaches all the grades. She's our art teacher. She's been in
Wow.
education forever. Yeah, yeah. People are like, "That art position looks mighty fine." Everybody, because it's such a like, art is so like, it's fun, it's creative.
Yeah.
No, she could probably teach that class with her eyes closed, and she
Mhm.
teaches all grades, 5th through 8th.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's crazy, but no, yeah, I think I love that. I love that, as an educator, you do have that there are options. If you don't wanna be in the classroom and you feel like the classroom, you're done with it, there are options. Like, you can go back to grad school and get your master's in something. Just make sure it's something that you're passionate about, and like
Mhm.
you said, do your research and look at that pay scale too, though. Like, you wanna go into a field where you're gonna feel like it's going to be worth it for you too. I don't know what it's like in y'all's district, but I know in our district, I believe, if I'm not, I hopefully I'm not misquoting, but I think our counselor is on the same teacher scale.
Ew.
I know.
Well,
So I don't know that there's a pay increase for our counselors in our district. I don't know how it is in other. How is it in your district?
well, for me, it was a step up because I had been in the classroom only 5 years, so I wasn't really like,
Like
and
it's
because
not like you've been teaching for 20 years.
right, and
Yeah.
because I was also a DOI teacher, which means I wasn't fully certified when I was teaching.
Mhm.
I was still getting 0 years of experience paid because I didn't get certified until I literally left the classroom, which is mind blowing. I got certified for teaching and for counseling at the same time
Mhm.
because I was in the program, and that takes a year, the alternative program.
Mhm.
Because COVID kind of put a halt on everything, and then I just took another year for me to get into a program to get certified as a teacher. And then when I finally did, that's when I decided I didn't want to teach anymore. So I
Yeah.
got certified as a teacher and as a counselor literally the same month, which was April of 2024. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, pay scale.
Pay
So
scale.
it
Yeah.
it was it was it was it was a jump for me because I hadn't been teaching for that long, and because I was
Mhm.
with 0 years of experience. But there are other people, like I have a friend that had been teaching for like 15, 16 years, and
Mhm.
she went into counseling. She did get a little bit of a bump
Mhm.
because she went into high school, and high school pays more.
Mm.
But sometimes you lose money if you go from teaching to counseling because your teaching years of experience do not count
Mhm.
towards
Mhm.
counseling, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
fun fact, we actually don't get paid as much as we should. Like, I'm pretty sure with TIA money being thrown around now and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure there are teachers that are getting paid more than I do as a counselor. So, and that's what we were told this week. We had our counselor meeting, and we were told that a lot of counselors are leaving to go back into the classroom
Mm.
to get that TIA money
I can see that.
because it pays more than being
Mhm.
a counselor, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you take it as, again, the pros and cons, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it doesn't pay a whole lot, but you're also not having to worry about having 30 kids in your classroom, writing
Mhm.
lesson plans, having duty, having all these other things to worry about, like
Yeah.
grade books and not being able to go to the restroom when you want to, having a 30-minute lunch versus an hour lunch. So, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, this is what works for me. This is what started my education journey.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, for me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think every district is different because I'm looking at a district here and their minimum starting salary is definitely different than the minimum teacher salary. It's a little bit higher. So I guess it
Mhm.
depends. And yeah, definitely. And it also, if you are a license and LPC, you get paid a little bit more as well.
Well, see, our LPCs here are leveled with us.
Are they
So,
really?
like, if I was to go get my LPC, I
It's going to
wouldn't
stay the
get
same.
a bump because we're in the same pay scale. So, what I've also heard is that if you want to get paid more, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of counselors leave for a year and then they come back
Oh, that makes sense.
because they get that bump because they consider your years of experience as a counselor. So, they start you
Mm-hmm.
off at a higher pay. So, I guess
Yeah.
that's another thing. It's really tricky to like reach because the way they put it in the pay scale, they have a minimum, they have a medium, and they have the top. So from what I've heard, it's really hard to get away from the medium.
Mm.
A lot of counselors don't ever reach the top, if that makes any sense, unless you leave the district and come back and they
Yeah.
count your years of experience, so that kind of bumps you up.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm looking here, like, also, I mean, and if counseling is not a thing for you, they also have diagnosticians. I mean, they get
Mhm.
paid fairly well. Mm-hmm.
And I think they get paid more than counselors.
Yeah. I was just looking at that.
Yeah, so that's another good program. It's pretty close to the master's
Okay.
program for education,
Mm.
time wise, not
Okay.
what you
Length
learn.
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just looking at that. I'm like, I don't know
Mhm.
what, I don't, so our district, So I know a lot of districts will have like the professional pay scale and then they'll have their teacher pay scale. Yeah, somehow like we don't have access to the professional pay scale. Our district is a very
Really?
yeah, it's not our yeah. Not
Sneakers,
that
what are they hiding?
I don't know, but I know like some districts have like detailed, like they have like I'm talking about pages upon pages. You can go and see
Mhm.
how much they pay for UIL stipends, how much they pay coaches stipends. Like it's all listed and broken down. We don't have that. And I guess because our district's a little bit smaller, I'm going to go with that. And that's why it's not up there because we don't like it varies from year to year because our
Yeah.
district is always shrinking. So I'm thinking that's what it is. But I know like the bigger districts, you can definitely do your research and look and
Mhm.
see like what's going to pay you the most or what do you feel comfortable with. And of course, it all goes back to what do you want to do and what's your passion and what do you want to
Yeah.
pursue. But definitely do your research and be aware of, hey, where do I want to live? What area am I in and how much are they going to pay me? Is it going to be worth it?
Yeah, for sure. All the debt that you're gonna take on from
Yeah,
going
master's
in
program.
from grad school because it's expensive. It's,
Yeah.
and you only get to take like two classes is considered full time again
Mhm.
because the workload is humongous.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much I was paying. It was a lot.
Yeah. That's expensive, and I'm sure it's gone up since then. Because I feel like
Yeah,
every year it goes up, and
for
especially
sure.
now with everything being like, especially with, like, everything being more expensive, like, college has to have gone up as well. It's
Mhm.
crazy. It's insane. But yeah, definitely do your research and see what's out there, what's available. But yeah, if you can go for your master's, why not? Why not?
So speaking of masters, Casey
Mhm. Yes.
decided.
So I'm definitely going back to school. I don't know, like I keep going back and forth. I definitely love the whole counseling aspect. Like I think I would be perfect for that role
Mhm.
because I love to make students feel safe, understood, feel like they're being related to. Uh,
Mhm.
and I definitely feel like I'd be okay with like doing the programs and like doing different things and stuff for the school and whatever like that I'm okay with that. I feel like it fits my personality very well. I feel like I'm a pretty outgoing person and I think you kind of have to be sometimes, you know what I mean, because you have to talk to new people, new faces. So I'm okay with that. The only thing that like makes me like kind of go back and forth is just the pay that I would get here
Mhm.
in my area. Like I think I would make more as a teacher than I would as a counselor. And again, it would go back because of that TIA money.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
TIA money makes a big difference.
I'm telling you, I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally what we heard this week that a lot of counselors are going back to the classroom to try to earn that TIA money
Yeah.
because I mean, what the biggest payout is what, 18,000 or is it more?
It's 18.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
we
that's
like
almost $20,000.
yeah. And like in our school, in our campus last year, we had I think it was like 3 or 4 that hit that high $18,000
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a big
if it's
incentive.
there, yeah, if it's
And then
there and you're a good teacher,
yeah,
go
and
for it.
the best thing about that is you're locked in for 5 years. Like, you
Mhm.
can't beat that. You can't
Yeah.
beat that. So, that's definitely, like, such a huge incentive, and I think I would like, if I hit masters, like, I'm golden for the next 5 years. Like,
Mhm.
I would not leave education, and I think that's the whole reason why they did that, because they don't wanna lose the good teachers, they wanna keep them on.
Mhm.
Which I think is great. I think they should have done this years ago. I feel bad for those teachers that weren't able to like, get into this. And not only that, but I think it encourages people to want to teach core classes cuz a lot of I feel like maybe the newer teachers would rather I think you get a lot of coaches and you get like a lot of teachers that would rather teach like a non-core class. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Because they're more fun and I don't know, like there's just I don't know. It's something more exciting about teaching a non-core class than it is a core class. Core classes sound boring and you know what I mean? Like you're I don't know, like you have to be on it and you have to push them. But I feel like now with this compensation, like I think people are going to want to teach English. They're going to want to teach math. which is, I think math is probably one of the harder subjects that they have a hard time fulfilling or filling because not a lot of people want to teach math.
Yeah.
So that means that you would get your TIA money plus your stipend, your math stipend. Dude,
Mhm.
can't beat that.
Yeah.
That's good money right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
And if you're a coach and you're coaching and you're getting coaching stipends, man, like that's a pretty good deal right there.
yeah, it adds up.
So I can definitely see like a lot more people fighting for those positions.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. Do they do TIA money for science and social studies or not yet?
So not yet. That's coming up our next round. Our next round is, I believe, next year, social studies will be in the running for TIA money and science, but only the tested subjects right now.
That's what I was gonna say. How would they measure it? Because I know they only test science in fifth grade,
Fifth and eighth.
fifth and eighth. And
Mm-hmm.
social studies is the same, right? Just fifth and eighth?
Yes. No, it's just eighth.
Just eighth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're
So,
right. You're right.
yeah.
You're right.
So they would, so those are the only teachers that would be eligible for TIA as of right now. So I think the plan was for our district was to get math and reading, and then
Mm-hmm.
next year is science and social studies, but tested subjects only. And then the following year, they're going to focus on getting the other core subjects. But I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I'm assuming map testing. I don't know how they're going to show growth.
Check it out. Don't they do it through? Oh, do they base it on map or star right now?
Star.
Star. Okay.
From last year's star to this year's star, which I think is kind of bogus because it's two different tests,
So how
but
would they do
I'll
it
take it.
if the star test goes away? What would they use to measure?
I would assume the new whatever they were going to do. Because remember, they were going to do the 3 tests. Well, you
Mm-hmm.
did the three. Essentially, they were still going to be testing so you could still see the growth.
I think I read an article where they're getting ready to send another proposal to
Are
get
they
rid of the
really?
star. I think I
I
read
don't
it
think
like
it's going away.
yesterday. No, I doubt it.
I
I mean,
mean, even if
if
it
it does,
does
they'll
go
find
away,
something equally
they'll replace it
stupid
with
to
something.
replace it with. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with a TIA,
Mm-hmm.
with TIA incentive, there's no way they're not going to have something to measure growth.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that the TIA money it's nice. It's
Yeah.
really nice. Like I'm enjoying it. Like I'm not complaining.
Well, no, and you also been busting your butt for it.
Yeah.
So enjoy
Yeah.
it. You earned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, you earned it.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice. So I can definitely see why some counselors would want to go back.
I mean, not this counselor.
You're like, "Nope, you can't
This
pay me
counselor
enough to
ain't
go
going
back."
nowhere. Well, I mean, in all reality, I was never a core teacher, and
Yeah.
I could never be a core teacher. I don't want to.
Yeah. Could you? Yes. Do you want to?
Mm,
No. You could totally be a core teacher. You
nah, I
totally
don't think so.
could. Yeah, I think you could. I don't think you give yourself enough credit. Yeah, you could. It's just not your thing.
No, I mean, like I said, I was never going to be a teacher. I only started teaching because I wanted to be a counselor and I needed to teach. Well, and
Yeah.
actually, fun fact, Texas went away with that rule. If you have a master's in education for school counselor,
Mhm.
you can go straight into counseling if you are certified.
Wow.
You don't have to teach at all anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I guess that's okay. I mean, I guess I'm sure the knowledge would be good, but I don't think it'll make you or break you. I think you'll learn along the way.
yeah, I can see that. I
Right?
mean, like you said, it helps you because, like, you know what to expect from kids because you have been
Mhm.
in the classroom.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like I said, it's just so different than being in the classroom that I mean, would it benefit you? Yes. Do
Mhm.
you 100% need it? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Casey, if you are considering leaving the classroom, making a change, we said it, I'll say it again, do your research and understand that it's okay for you to want to leave the classroom. We know how it is. If you have been in the classroom even for a year, you know how demanding it is. So if you went into education thinking that it was going to be all rainbows and butterflies, and then you got there and you're like, whoa, pump the brakes, this is not what I wanted, it's okay to pivot. It's okay to change your mind. You will still stay within the education world. It just wouldn't be in the classroom like you originally thought it was going to be. So it's not like you're giving up. You're just going to evolve into something different within the education system. So again, if you're curious about counseling, do your research.
Yeah.
Talk to counselors. Talk to the counselors at your school and
Mhm.
pick their brains. I'm sure a lot of them started off as teachers and then decided that they needed a change. Then they went to school and then they got out of the classroom. So I wouldn't see it as a failure. Like, oh, you didn't cut it in the classroom, so then you went to counseling. Don't let people believe that that's true because it's okay to make changes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like it's a part of growing and
Mhm.
discovering who you are as a person. And I love the fact that making those changes doesn't make you a failure because it really doesn't. It just shows like, hey, there's other options. And I feel like
Mhm.
some people are so afraid to make that change that they hold themselves back from their full potential.
Mhm.
Like maybe
Yeah.
it's okay not to want to be in the classroom, or maybe teaching isn't for you, and that's okay. Like maybe, there's something better out there for you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So let me talk about a little bit of the reflection process that I went through.
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, I originally went to school to be a counselor, but I did get really comfortable in the classroom at one point. I loved it. I love the
Yeah.
relationships and having the same kids every single day. I love watching them learn and like kind of seeing those moments of like, I
Mm.
get it. I know what you're teaching me. Like I understand it.
Yeah.
But it got to the point where, like I said, I was tired, I was bored. I feel like I was doing everything right, but it wasn't fulfilling anymore, if that makes
Mm.
any sense.
Mhm.
So I guess if I had to say anything to myself in the classroom, would be like, remember your purpose. Remember what
Mhm.
started this for you. I mean, yes, the classroom has been great, but it's time to make a change and remember your purpose. So I think I've definitely grown so much from being in the classroom till now. It's been great. It's been really
Yeah,
good.
and I feel like that's what it's all about. Like I feel like once you feel stagnant and you feel stuck, it's definitely you telling yourself that it's time for change.
Mhm.
It's time for something to challenge you, something to motivate you, to invigorate you. And sometimes that means changing
Mhm.
things, pursuing other things other than what you're doing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like changes make us grow, they build our resiliency. And yeah, man, there's only so much you can do in the classroom, and there's definitely other outlets or other avenues that you can pursue to become a better version of yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Get out of your comfort zone. Sometimes we
Mhm.
need to be pushed
Mhm.
outside of a comfort zone to realize how much more potential we really do have. You know what I mean? Now that we're talking about this, I also knew that it was time for me to leave the classroom because last year I was doing a lot of group counseling sessions in the
Mhm.
classroom.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's time. I gotta
Yeah.
go. It's time.
Yeah, like there's more
Yeah.
for you out there. Yeah.
And like you said before, essentially you are a counselor in the classroom as well because
Yeah.
I know we've all done it. We've talked to our kids, whether a group or as an individual. These kids trust you. They have a relationship with you. So
Mhm.
essentially you're already doing it. So
Mhm.
if it's something that piques your interest and you want to pursue, then go for it. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Don't let grad school intimidate you. You got this. Don't let those
I'm
coworkers
just
intimidate you.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be realistic. It's a lot of freaking work. It is a
Oh my gosh,
lot
I
of
can see
It's
that.
exhausting. It was pain and tears and a lot of sweat and lots of coffee and lots of trips to Starbucks and the coffee shop to just with your headphones on and your computer and writing papers and lots of late nights,
Mm.
lots of trips
It's
to the
gonna be rough.
library. Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
it's worth it in the
Yeah.
end.
And that's what I always tell myself. Like easy things, anybody could have them, but it's the
Mhm.
things that you struggle for and the things that really make you work for it are the ones that you value the most.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
things aren't easy.
Yeah. And I feel like, a lot of people get masters nowadays. I feel like it's not as maybe as big as an accomplishment as it was maybe like 10, 15 years ago. But I don't know, dude. I'm hella proud of my masters
Dude, you
because
should be.
I literally went from undergrad into grad like 6 months apart. So I
Wow.
spent 4 years in undergrad and
Ugh.
then took a semester off and then went into grad and spent another 2.5 years
Oof.
in grad school. So it
Yeah.
was a lot. And
Yeah.
especially for I guess for us, like in the Hispanic community,
Mhm.
we have a lot of us that are like I was the first college graduate in my family. Um and I was the first one with a master's. My parents didn't even finish high school.
Yeah.
It's something to be proud of, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so far I'm the only sibling that's graduated college. So
Yeah.
definitely it's such a big accomplishment. And I think we
Mhm.
forget that because it's so common, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it doesn't mean you didn't work just as hard as the last person or the person
Yeah.
sitting next to you, you know? Everybody busts their butt in order to get that degree, that diploma. So, yeah, master's is such a great accomplishment. Like not and I think like you're right, it is a lot more common, but man, like yeah, definitely. My parents they didn't go to college. My mom didn't, I think she went to maybe she started secundaria, which is what? Like middle school, high
Middle
school
school.
was
Yeah.
yeah, maybe she started it, but yeah, I don't think she finished. And my dad didn't either. So yeah, it's such a big accomplishment.
Yeah. Same for my mom. I think she did 1 year in la secundaria, so maybe like 7th grade, and then she dropped out. Then, and you think about it, I mean, I have a kid in 7th grade. I cannot imagine him having to drop out to go to work or help out with his siblings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that
yeah.
crazy? Like our parents lived such a fast life. They grew up so much faster than our kids will ever grow up. Like I don't
Mhm.
know if my kids are ever going to leave my house.
I know. Well, I was talking to my husband about that the other day. I was like, they're not leaving as soon as they graduate. They're gonna stay
No.
here.
Yeah. Like what a life they had and the sacrifices they had to make so that our kids are able to live the life that they have now.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. What a difference. Yeah. I love like, when we see like social media and it's like the parents like, yeah, when I was 15, like I was like jumping out of the window and like, sneaking out of my house. And then here's this kid who's can't even go outside and throw the trash by themselves in the dark. Like what a difference, the way
Yeah,
we grew up and the way our kids are growing up. Very, very different.
definitely have seen that too where like us millennials, like when I was 14, 15, I was out in the fields getting drunk with my friends with no cell phone. My parents had no idea where I was in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And my kid can't even order a soda at the restaurant by himself. Crazy.
It is. It's so true though.
We are ruining them.
We are, but I don't think I mean, it's us and technology. Like it's just they don't have a reason to leave. They don't have
Yeah.
the need. I
Yeah,
mean,
because we do everything for them. Because
and
we're
not only
helicopter
that,
parents.
but their friends don't want to leave. Dude, I know there's some days where I'm like, hey, why don't you go hang out with your friends? Why don't y'all, go grab some drinks, go shoot some hoops at, the park and stuff. He's
Mm-mm.
like, nah, we're just gonna stay and play games. Everybody just, and I'm like, so boring,
Boring. Yeah.
so boring.
That's what I
It's
tell
like,
my kids all the time too.
dude, I remember me and my cousin, we had no business. I want to say she was 15, I was 13. We were riding around town in a car. Dude, she had no business driving. I had no business in the passenger seat. And we would like go cruising, right? Because that was the big thing. Like you would go cruising and then you would holler at guys. The boys would like follow you and then you try to lose them. And like we had no business being out there getting phone numbers and
Yeah.
meeting
What age
boys.
was this again?
Like I want to say she was 15, I was 13. Like we were
Dang,
we
dude.
were young. I don't know why they let us drive. Like why would they let her drive? Dude,
It was different times, dude.
We were in a big old car. Like, I remember like those old cars, like
Like
the
the boat looking
long,
ones?
yeah, like the boat looking ones. I remember it was
Las
brown.
chalupas?
Yes, it was an ugly brown color. And I remember you had to like roll the window up. Dude, yeah, we were out there cruising it. We got all the other cousins in the car too at some point. We're all driving. Yeah, we had no business. No business.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
no.
me. That was us too. I'm one of the oldest, like, on from my girl cousins.
Hmm.
I mean, we're pretty close in age, but there was these set of cousins that I had. So I was 18,
Hmm.
and they must have been like 13, 14, 15, maybe 12.
Hmm.
And I was older, right? I had already graduated high school. I was like 18, 19.
Hmm.
And I remember one time I took him to Mexico with me,
Shut
and
up.
I took him out partying in Mexico, and I think the youngest one was, like, 13, and now that I think about it, I'm like, "What were they thinking just letting me take a bunch of minors across the border and go party in Mexico?" Because I was the old one, like, legally in Mexico, you're
Because you were
allowed
the
to go.
responsible one.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What were they thinking?" I was a child myself. I mean, yeah, I was of age, 19, 18 years old, but the
Oh my
youngest one,
God.
like, was, like, 13, I wanna say 13, and we
What
still
the
talk
heck?
about it, and they're like, "Remember, Isela, when you took us across the border and we went to Mexico?" I'm like, "Oh my god." What were my uncles and aunts thinking? "Oh, yeah, y'all just go across the border and go
No
party in
big
Mexico."
deal. Go have fun. What the heck? But that's the culture. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was just like I don't know. Like it was like okay, the primas are all together. No big deal. They're all
Mhm. They're
together.
fine. They're
Yeah.
safe. Yeah.
I se cuidan. You know what I mean? That's crazy. But yeah, like I
Not
remember
anymore.
being maybe 15, 16, and I remember going over to my friend's house, and I remember she was already driving. She was already driving. She had her own truck. And I would be like, okay, mom, I'm going to go spend the night at my friend's house. And I remember we would sneak out her window. We would sneak out her window and then we would have the boys pick us up in the alley. We would take off and we'd go party and then come back and sneak back in through the window. We had
Mhm.
no business, no
Nope.
business. But like, but that's the life you lived back then. You
Yeah.
know, everybody like went out and there was a middle of nowhere, and everybody would party.
And I'm sure kids do it still nowadays. I mean, I'm sure kids sneak out of their
Yeah,
houses
they
still
do.
and go do things that they're not supposed to be doing, but I guess the
Yeah.
difference is that we didn't have cell phones back then. So
Yeah.
nobody knew where we were.
There
We
was
left
no
no
evidence.
evidence of what we were
Mm-mm.
doing out there,
No. Yeah.
living it up. And now these kids record everything, giving
Yeah.
themselves up, dummies.
Yeah. I know. It's so funny. I know. One of my boys was telling me, he's like, yeah, so and so had a little get together. I was like, that wasn't no get together. That was a party. Come on now. So, yeah, they do have parties still. They're just not out in the monte like they used to be. Like now they have
Yeah.
them in people's backyards or in people's houses. Like it's not
With the
like
parents present?
sometimes, yeah.
Wow.
I think that's more common than not nowadays.
Mhm.
Especially if they're like seniors.
Mhm.
I definitely feel like that's more condoned. I told my kids like, I don't care if you're 18, you're not drinking. I'm like, no, I am not going to throw you a party. No, like you're going to wait till you're 21. That's what I say now. I don't know
Yeah.
what it'll be
We'll
like
see when the time comes.
when they're seniors, but right now I'm like, I better never catch you with, alcohol or ever drinking. It's like, nope, nope, I will be so disappointed in you. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know that I'm ready. Hey, Sela, I want to thank you for being so open and honest on your journey to becoming a school counselor. I know so many people needed to hear this today, especially those who are kind of questioning about being in the classroom.
Yeah, sister, thank you for letting me have this little bit so I could share my story with everybody. And I want to tell everybody, if you are listening and you are feeling unsure about where you are at the moment, I want to tell you that it's okay for you to want more. Like I said it before, you are allowed to evolve and you're allowed to grow. And if you're feeling stuck, just make the change. Start doing some research.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope that today's episode really gave you a little bit of clarity, maybe some courage, or at least made you not feel alone. A lot of us, go through stages, especially in the education world, where we're just not sure if being in the classroom is right for us. So if you like this episode, please share it with a fellow teacher, mom, friend, or anyone that is maybe questioning getting out of the classroom.
Yes, and as always, don't forget to follow us us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Hermanas Unfiltered. Leave us a review, subscribe, and keep showing up for yourself, unfiltered and unapologetic.
That's right. We'll see you next time, hermanas.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.